What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, love, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonia? What's up, Sonia? Fat Mama Sonia. What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. Got another panel together. Of course, we have the legendary schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and respect everybody on the panel. And how you been, 7-8?
I've been good, man. Just relaxing, celebrating,
Yeah.
Celebrating life, trying to eat a little better so I can get rid of this gout,
Yeah. That always helps. It helped me with my diabetes.
That's right.
So diet matters.
Yes, indeed. And we have the legendary Bakri, only in America Kennels. How you doing today, brother?
Peace and love to my dear brother Kev and Schoolboy, my dear brother Rasta Man, and to the people that are out there in the chat. Much love to all of you. I'm doing fine, by the way.
Yes, sir. And of course, we got the legendary Rasta Man Boone in the building. What's up, Rasta Man? How you doing?
Yes, it's the family. Bulldog here. 2022. Be there. We ready, boy. We ready.
Yes, sir. And salute to everybody. For the last show, we raised $105 for the brother Mark. Thank y'all for all y'all donations. Everybody who thought about them, we'll get that to him.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. We're still going.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me roll up here and see what we got in the building. Do a quick roll call. Mo Boxing, salute, fam. I see you in the building. Mallow Bull, salute. Guillory Kennels, Run 'em down, Dread, salute to you.
Run 'em down, Dread.
Yes, indeed. Tony Gardner, what's happening, man? AJ, Kids, let me see here. Akando Sami Hassan, Asiatic Soldier, salute to you. Grind Mode Kennels, salute. Fat Farm Ray, Welsh Kennels Combine, Young World, 200 East, William Torres, salute. Bob Otto, Hugo, Guts and Glory, Jonathan, let me see, Von C, Smooth Monty, what's happening, bro?
Brother Smooth.
Mr. Anderson, AJ, ABM, man, salute to you. Let's see, Young Reed, Harwin, Bank Statement, Kennels in the building. What's up, Bank Statement? Solo, Emmanuel Goss, Royal Family Pets, Mike Lee, salute.
Mike.
KJ Williams, what's that? Bonta 83. Salute to everybody in the building. Can't read everybody, but thank y'all for being up in here. Appreciate y'all, man. We got super chat early. Salute to the homie, Phenomenal Mexican in the super chat. Appreciate the love, fam. He says, I thought you was playing about the Kia Boys 78. No, I was for real, man. That really happened, man. Yeah, you see that documentary, didn't you? Yeah, salute to you, Phenomenal Mexican. Okay. All right. So, Walking Down Ram will be here in a little while. Y'all know how Ram do. Let me see. Ram be lifting up transmissions and whatnot.
Yeah. He's always
see here.
Fashionably late.
Yeah. All right. So, first question we got from from the other week we had was a bunch of comments in there, questions, and we didn't get to all of them. So we're going to knock out these questions, and anybody with any questions, just send it in the super chat, and we'll try to get up out of here in a timely manner, answer all y'all questions. First question, what does it take for a dog to make dog of the decade? We'll start with you, Brother Bach.
Well, normally, I'm going to just say in our time, when we really pretty much knew every dog due to the Sport and Dog Journal and other credible magazines, and because we didn't have a media outlet like it is today, we pretty much, we knew about this dog, whether it was anywhere in the world in terms of its accomplishments. So normally, when that dog faced other dogs of the same status and beat them, then those dogs were pretty much up for dogs of the decade. They weren't really dogs that got that who were beating dogs that the world didn't know. Like no-name camps and no-name dogs. So like I said, dog of the year would be a dog that has won many, multiple wins and have beat dogs of the same status as he or she. That would be what I felt was could be dog of the decade.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your take.
Yeah, pretty much the same. The last one I heard of was Tita. And I'm not really familiar who his opponents were, but he was an 8-time winner. And he traveled a lot, fought here and there. We're more familiar with the dog of the year, like right. For instance, Grand Champion Joey, Roadblock's Grand Champion Joey. Every dog he faced was a winner, and he beat 2 or 3 champions and 1 grand champion. Something like that. I still see that floating around, and you got to be careful nowadays because they have dog of the year, dog of the decade, but it's not centralized. It might be dog of the year in the Philippines, and they might have dog of the year in South America and this and that. So it's not, the thing with the journal is it was more centralized. And I don't remember how Kelly picked it. I forget if he had a panel of people or they submitted, people submitted their dog and he went over it, the record and all this and that. And that's how it was chosen. But dog of the decade, that covers 10 years. And, I don't know how they figured it out, after I got out. So, but like Bach said, it's notable opponents, who you beat, the camps and the dogs themselves, same caliber or up there, winners, champions, grand champions. That'll be about the only way you could do it, because it has to be something that stands out different from the rest. And like I think a dog named Silver or something, he beat all grand champions. He ended up losing 1, I think, but all his 4 or 5 wins were against grand champion dogs. So it's along those lines. It would be, like a Hall of Fame almost.
Right.
Go on the person who owns a dog and mostly on the dog's record and who they beat, who they went into. Traveling had a lot to do with it. Some of them fight in different countries like that, or at least all over the U.S. back then, and a lot of them went to Mexico too, like that. Some in Canada, something like that.
Right. Rastaman Boom, what's your take on how one would become dog of the decade?
Because the dogs are in so many areas of the country, it's kind of hard to just say if one dog would meet that criteria, because you got a lot of dogs here and there everywhere. You know what I mean? So if everybody's inclusive, then you go to the other countries and all that. So now, if you say in a certain area they carry a certain title, that could be something that could be seen. Or if it came down to it, where there was like how they have a tunic, so everybody go through this process of being able to carry this title or this claim. You know what I mean? So I just think amongst their peers and the elders and the people that's around during those times. Back then, you know, the ones that was talked about seen more in certain areas, maybe got a little more accolades than others. But, you know, I still believe that because of the beauty of the breed and the people of the dog, you can have multiple great dogs in great places. You know, now I might seem kind of out of order, but I just think that, you know, the Most High didn't create just one of us to have these sort of visions. I just think, you know, it created so many to be able to be good news to folks if they could be. And that's why, you know, you got guys in the Midwest, guys in the North, these guys in Southeast, you know, you got guys all over the universe, you know, everywhere in different countries, man. It's, you know, so it just really, you know, like people carry titles and it's okay. You know what I mean? I think it's good if somebody want to put a title on something, it's okay. You know, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Salute
Before we leave, hold 1 second, just if we could. Hey, school, but I don't, and I wish the person who, you know, was Nancy was still alive. Joey definitely wasn't what he was made out. He ducked me, Doug Park. He ducked a whole lot of us with that dog, which we would have curved out in 10 minutes. He was going against dogs that was formerly, he went into a 7-year-old Grand Champion Texas, was a piece of garbage. He went into a couple of joints that he already seen go, knew they style was really, Joey looked up in the air all the time. I mean, bro, no. We got to use another. I can't let that go past. He ducked us. And listen, if you go speak to Tito from Local Boys, we was on the 3-way. He called me up when he told me I ducked him with Tyrone. And then when we got on the phone after we tried to hook it up, which I tried to hook it up with Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter, after we beat Bounty Hunter, he called back to Detroit, told him, I seen the baddest dog in the world. And then he was like, we just went into him and we jumped the pit. And he ran from them after they beat the 4-time winner, the Mustard Dog. So they had to come meet me all the way from Detroit. They came and met me in Maryland. And we did that. And we beat them after they beat the Mustard Dog. McNasty was scared to go into Buddy. So we made Buddy jump the wall in 30-something minutes. So then he said, we are matching them. He took Joey match weight from a 40 to a 38. But we had Tyrone half brother champion Nut, who also was a 4-time winner. I'm like, well, we'll jump on you with that. Then he wanted to be friends with East Coast and Assassin. Then he said no, he didn't want to do it. So he told that to Local Boy Tito. Local Boy Tito put me on the phone. Then after he told him Bach on the phone, he was like, oh man, Bach, he's just trying to have us go on each other. Duh. That's what we supposed to be doing, letting the best go against the best. So he didn't want the best, bro. So let's don't ever put him up for none of that. I'm sorry, but keep going.
Let me say this. I cannot agree. I cannot disagree with you, Bach, because you know, Texas, you know, he had quit before that fight with
right.
Joey. He didn't quit during the match, but he would not make his courtesy scratch.
Correct.
So they knew, you know, and he was older and all that, you know. And all that you're saying, yeah, I know all that.
I just had to put that out there, man. I'm like, nah, we can't. We can use Lady Stone. We can use other stuff. We can't use that. We can't use that.
I'll let you put all that out there.
Okay. All right.
Let me say this. Okay. All right. So I get a call. Hey man, we coming through, man. And I said, yeah. He said, yeah, man, we need you to just vibe us for a little bit. I said, well, okay. Well, man, why don't you come on with us and go, man? I'm like, damn. I said, shit, I don't know, man. I got some other shit I'm doing. Y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead. So they left and they won. But I didn't see it. But, you know, me and Bob talked about it, you know, what kind of dog he was.
Right.
But I'm not gonna lie though. I seen him go one time where was we at? We was out.
That's when he went into Irish jury with Redman. He beat Redman.
Yeah, we was way somewhere. We was somewhere. I forgot where.
Carolinas.
Yeah. But anyway, and he won, and I thought, now I thought he was. I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was a decent dog. I really did. I mean, he won. He won what, 5 or 6? How many he win?
He won 6.
Yeah, he won 6. And so
6 big fights. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I'm just gonna be straight up, and that this ain't, no trying to put no salt on him, because bless up to the Most High, that his spirit is in a great place. Now, if head to head, pound for pound, that after what I seen him do that time, and then after what I seen Tyrone do, I'm gonna roll with Tyrone.
Of course you would.
I seen both of them go.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, now, even though I said that, we don't know who the won, but I just think Tyrone would have been abusive to him.
Yeah. Would have molested him.
Because, he'll let one get on him a little bit. You understand what I'm saying?
Then he looked up in the air. He looked up in the air when he had the dog out. He started looking up in the middle of the air and everything. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. If you let one get to you, keep getting to you, that could be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, hey, I ain't gonna lie. In the early days, me, Mac, Mr. T, man, we was like, it was like brothers, man. But over time, things changed. I don't know what all, it's a lot of stuff went crazy, but I knew T and I knew Mac Nasty, and they was cool in the early days, especially T, man. T was always
yes. Love Mr. T. His brother was solid as they come. Love him, miss him.
He was he was one of a kind, man. And me and that joker used to talk, man, laugh, man. We had so much fun. But I want to say this too, man. We had one of our soldiers to be fallen, Mr. Whitley, Whitley.
Yeah.
And he and I, man, we go all the way back to 1978, 79. And and I remember when he had the ZEBO dolls. I bought all of them from him. And then he said, well, he getting with Jack Swanson to get some of the REDBOY dolls. And I was like, yeah, do that. And then he did that, and he got the dogs, and then they wanted to tell him how to breed them, when to breed them. And I was like, well, damn, you went and paid for something, and you can't do what you want to do with them? No, Jack said, do it like this. I said, well, damn. You should let Jack keep the damn dogs.
Yeah.
He gonna breed them like he want to breed them. I said, man, breed both of them motherfuckers. I'm gonna buy some goddamn puppies from you. I goddamn go there and breed them motherfuckers. And so he did. He made the breeding and did it again. And man, I want to tell you, that was the beginning of getting a lot of good dogs. And then we showed some, and and he was a warrior, man. Old guy,
Yes,
the way he had that old tradition vibe, and you say something wrong, he kind of snap on you, you know what I mean? So, but was a good dude, man. I mean, a good dude, was great for the game. Didn't, what I liked about him the most is he didn't allow people with their negativism, because he and I had been friends, like I said, from the 70s. All right. So, people would call him and then try to talk my name down, trying to make me look bad. I don't know why. I don't understand it. And then he'll call me and tell me, he said, man, this dude, this. I'm like, well, damn, why would they do that? I just don't understand people, man. I have never called a man trying to talk down on another man. If there's anything to be said, I can tell the man myself, you know what I mean? But anyway, he and I was real tight, and I just wanted to say that. And one of the best dudes you ever wanted to meet, man. I mean, great guy, great family, man. You know what I mean? Took care of his family. And that's that's the most important thing, man. It don't matter how big your house is, how many big whips you got. What matters is how well you mentally, physically taking care of your family. And if you're abusive to anything in your household, then you need to clean your act up. Because too much madness out here with the dumb shit. When a person come home and to the family vibrations, man, shouldn't be nothing but all love.
Yes,
Go ahead and move on, Phil. That's a whole nother vibe there, man. Yeah.
Rest in peace to Mr. Whitley. Condolences to his family. And I didn't know him, but he had a reputation of having game dogs.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed. And yes,
and they could fight too. Yeah, we had someone that could show that mouth too now.
I want to say his Red Boy dogs was the hardest mouth Red Boy dogs I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah. They had mouth too. But go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let's move on.
Yes, sir. Salute to Mr. Gumbo in the super chat. Appreciate the love, man. He says salute,
General.
he says salute, General, to the legendary panel and great dog man of the past. Salute, Mr. Gumbo.
Much love, brother. Much love.
Mr. Gumbo.
Okay, another question we got here is, does the panel have any experience using a product called Clovite? It's a vitamin supplement. Mr. Garcia, who does? Ram? Mr. Garcia, do you?
I didn't use it, but I was familiar with it. They used it a lot back in the day. I don't know if they still do. The main ingredients are vitamin A, vitamin D, and B12. And it's a supplement just like a lot of other stuff. It kind of fell out of favor, and I think the reason is because it's soy based, soy meal, soy whatever. And as people become more educated, they tend to stay away from the soy products. And I'm just guessing that's kind of why it fell out of favor. People don't like soy products because of the if you look at some of the science, it's kind of like makes you effeminate, if you're a dude, so maybe that's why it started with the horse racing community, like a lot of the supplements do. They start with horses or other breeds of dogs that are more popular, hound dogs and Iditarod racing dogs and stuff, and then eventually it trickled down to the pit bulls. But it was pretty popular back in the day, but I never did use it.
Okay. Brother Bach, have you know any information about that Clovite?
I love it. I got into the game in the 80s with the Clovite. Matter of fact, I seen it in every dog man's yard that I went into. The house I went into back then. It seemed to have been like a standard of what they were using. It does a lot for their coat. It did a lot for the exterior. So I'm sure it had to do some good for the inside as well. But I still use it. Still use it. And love the results. It's on my puppies, on my females, weaning them, pregnant with them. I use it the whole time. Love it. So, like I said, you'll be able to definitely see it in their coat and everything. So if the coat's looking good, then I know it's doing good stuff for the inside as well.
Best thing is, try it and see. Regardless of what anybody says, if you want to try something, try it and see. And Bach's right. The first thing you see it on is a dog's coat. When you start adding different supplements, that's generally where you see it. It might take 10 days and stuff, and then you see a noticeable difference.
And then when you stop taking it, you see a noticeable difference.
Yeah,
that's why
you
I don't just keep going.
Difference the other way. Exactly.
Right, dryness of the skin. all of that flaky skin.
Yeah.
It keeps the oil in you. It works. It's doing something good. If your exterior looks good, it's doing something good. Like I said, all the way around. If I seen any bad side effects, like Brother Garcia was saying, more or less of an estrogens due to a soy base. If I seen my males becoming, acting like RuPaul around that mother, it might be different. But
and
I
it's always
the
the dosage and the amounts. If the amounts ain't significant, it's not going to have an adverse effect.
Right. I just used the one that said to use it by the they give you the direction to use it. I ain't mean to cut you, brother.
No,
Rich.
that's right. That's all right.
I mean, maybe if you overly do something, maybe like Rich said, you might have a negative effect. But using the regular stuff, the little spoon that they tell you by the body weight, you pretty much. I haven't never had a problem. Been doing it since the 80s. So
yeah. And generally, if the horse racing community use it, it's pretty good because they have they do all kinds of testing. They have nutritionists. They have veterinaries. They do all 100% physical on horses, so they really into it a lot more than we are because they have a lot more money. So generally, if another sporting or working community uses it, and you use it properly, it's going to help you. I mean, you're getting that stuff from other food or supplement sources, anyways. If it's mostly vitamin A, D, and B12.
That's what it is. Yeah,
it's got some vitamin E in it. Stuff. It's good. But people always moving on. It kind of always. I used to trip sometimes because they come out. This is the best shit. This is the new shit. It's better than the last shit, and then after that falls out of favor, they got some new shit. This is better than the last shit that we use, and I'm like, well, what was wrong with the other stuff, that you used to use that at that time, it was, and it's not really nothing different. It's just the dosage and amounts, maybe it's higher in this and lower in that, more zinc or whatever it is, it's just people fucking with stuff and trying to produce a product that they sell. And if it works, it'll sell. If it don't, but that's just kind of my way of looking at things, if something worked, I would stick with it. Like Bach said, he'd been using it since the 80s. It worked back then. It would work now, even just as a health supplement,
Right. Rasta Man Boone, you got any experience with Clovite?
I've never used it, but I know people that dealt with it, and what we have to remember is you got a lot of people that have put out different keeps, from the 1900s. I mean, you got some of these old books and the old remedies, and you can look back way 200 years from here of some of the things they did back then, and then you come on up century after that, and you can see some of the things they used then, and then you come on up, and now you in this time, and you can see what some of the things, it's just like conditioning, its process, and the things to use to make it better, just seemingly change, constantly, or they'll word it different so they could just make more money off what they're saying. You know what I mean? Be the same shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all about, what they call evolving. So you'll see a lot of different stuff, but like Schoolboy and what they basically saying, along with Bach, is you find something that work, man, stay with it. But I'm so glad now that I don't even have to see it that way. Yeah, I'll just be freed up.
Yes, indeed. Welcome down, Ram. Big Steppin'. What's up, bro? Ram. Oh, no,
Ram, what's up, Ram?
Ram, can you hear us?
Hey.
Ram, I think you have a connection issue. You having a connection issue. Oh shoot, I messed up. Hold on. Let me try to remove him and then let him come back in.
I'm bringing the dog and go to the next person.
Yeah. Sprout in the super chat. Appreciate the love, family. Much love, much appreciation. Says Overbite, the good and the bad. Is there good and bad in Overbite, Mr. Garcia?
Overbite. I've seen dogs that had it. I can't really say. I didn't have any that had an overbite, and I can't really say that I remember seeing any dogs go that had it. It is generally frowned upon. I've heard of people saying that it didn't bother some dogs, and being undershot. That's kind of common with the pit bull, but the overbite is not that common in my experience, anyways. I really can't say, where like an underbite. There's a shitload of dogs that had an underbite and they were good dogs, But like I said, that's part of the breed's history. They've had that since the beginning. The overbite, I don't, I've never, I just didn't like it, and it all has to do with any dog's bite, whether it's even, a scissor bite or undershot or overbite. It has to do the way the cutters come together, that the canines come together. If they close properly, you probably okay. If they off, then you might have a problem. But as far as seeing dogs with an overbite or having them, I don't have any experience with that.
Okay. What about you, Brother Bot?
Okay, I'm sorry. I had went out for a second to grab a dog. What was the question at hand? I'm sorry.
Overbite, the good and bad. What's the good and bad of a dog having an overbite, if there is?
Now, I don't want to sit up here and say something that I don't know of, because normally a little underbite, for some reason, they bit a little harder. Some of the ones I saw. Overbite, I really can't say I really known of any. I've never had any, so I've never went in the mouth of another man's dog to see if his was an overbite. But normally, if I had just a little slight undershot, just a slight, not much, they bit pretty hard. To be honest, I never really got a soft mouth undershot dog.
You right.
You know what I'm saying? For some reason, that just a little bit, you were like, damn, they crunch. So I don't know about the overbite, but the underbite is not nothing that I got upset about. When I did see one pop up here or there, I already kind of knew, like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this one if they got any heart, So, but I can't speak on the overbite, because most of the stuff that I breed, we try to be selective in the genetic of it, So if I get one that I seen it was gonna be overly either way, might have got put down as puppies,
Right.
So,
Yes, indeed. Salute to the chat. I see you in here, Main Event Mark. I see you, Brown Sugar Tay, Live Life Real. Salute to everybody in here. Hardy Dogs. I see everybody in here. Ram, you back?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Ram?
What's going on?
Money.
Salute, OG Bot, OG Schoolboy, my brother 7-8. I see the homie Malo in there. Tay, old sexy self, was cracking.
Yes, indeed, man. Ram, you got any experience with the product called Clovite?
Oh yeah, I like it, man. I like that shit. I used to use that before they invented RF1. That was a good supplement to use when you was putting one in shape. The only thing I didn't like was it when they started making it soy based. That's kind of why I got off of it. Just cause I didn't see no adverse effects in my dogs, but I didn't want to make, none happen. So instead of just fucking playing with the game, I just got off of it. But I liked it though. If they fucking got one that's soy free, I'll fuck with it. I just don't fuck with soy boys, dogs or not.
Right. Yes, indeed. Ram, do you have the question? Can you see the questions from your phone?
Let me see.
Because the next question here, and the reason why I asked is because I got a little bit of emergency I got to take care of. Now I don't want to end the show this quick, but I wanted you to take over for me. If any one of y'all can see the questions, I'll be going for like 10 minutes.
All right, yeah, I'll take over.
All right, the next question here is: Can breeding too tightly bred Grand Champion yellow dogs produce black and tan dogs and their offspring? Go ahead, Mr. Garcia, and then Ram, you take it over from me, bro.
All right, bet.
Yeah, this question came up in my group. So you know, I'm not a geneticist on color, but from what I found out is all the pigmentation colors of dogs, there's only two that all the colors come from, and that's black and red. So, like I said, not being a geneticist, it would have to be, you know, how those colors come together to make black and tan. I can't say that you know, putting two red dogs together, if that's what the question's based on, that a black and tan wouldn't come out. It doesn't seem like it would, you know, but you know, because you know, let's say you have a bunch of red dogs, whether they red nose and red with black nose or whatever, but predominantly red dogs. Other colors will come out. If there's a different color back there, that's the way I see it, then eventually, in most circumstances, it'll come out. The only time it doesn't, this has been gone over too, is if you have two red nosed dogs, that you can't get a black nosed dog. It's not impossible, but highly improbable. So that generally cannot happen. But as far as the other colors go, it would have to be, in my way of thinking, you know, there would have that color would have to be in there, or you know, not black and tan for specifically, but you know, a dog with some black in it, whether it's a brindle, you know, it's like brindle comes from brown and it's either brown and red or brown and black. That's what makes the color brindle. So if you have something like that, a brindle back there or a black dog back there or something like that, then you could potentially get a black and tan. You know, I can't say for sure that you know, the what they're talking about, if a black and tan would come from it, but depending on how the colors are and how they're put together, it's possible that it could come out. Because I've seen, you know, predominant, like I made a breeding with Ninja. He was black, his mama was black, his mother only threw black dogs. Whatever male she was bred to, Dottie, she only threw black dogs, regardless of what color the male she was bred to was. Ninja was black, and you would think because black is a dominant color, when I made my breeding, I'd have mostly black dogs. My dogs were buckskin and red, and when I made that breeding, all of them were buckskin and red, and I only got one black out of it. So if that means anything, you know, a potentially black and tan dog, maybe it could come out. I don't know. Maybe somebody else got some more input.
Well put. What you got on that, OG Bot? Have you ever seen that? A pure, basically red boy Jocko or red boy dog, throw a black and tan dog?
Well, you know, you talking to the wrong guy. You know, I'm Mr. Eli Carver, man. I have a red boy dog that I get specifically to breed the Jeep stuff or cross, but never could I tell you about red boy Jocko dogs, yellow dogs. I've never owned one. So I'll be the wrong person to ask that question. So I might want to pass over. I think Boone might have played with that blood a little bit more, so, or no way more, because he has buddies in his area that has a whole bunch of that. But me personally, I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie to you. I couldn't tell you. No.
Yeah, I would say, you know, because what happens is people will show pedigrees or they'll show their dogs, you know, and then a funky color will come out, a tricolor or a black and tan, or you got a bunch of black dogs and you get a buckskin or something like that, you know, and they'll automatically say that can't happen, that can't happen, without knowing, without researching colors like that. And you can't say what will happen unless you dig up the facts and see what throws what. It all has to do with the alleles and all that stuff with genetics, you know. The mother carries this, the father carries that, and certain colors are passed on this way and that way and blah, 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 all that. Without knowing all that, you can't really say, but people will jump on there and say, nope, that can't happen, that can't happen, that can't happen, you know. Just like my buddy had a dog off of he was off a skull and a red boy JOCKO bit. He was black. Most of his offspring were black. That black dominant color came out, you know. So it could work either way. In my case, that one breeding, most of them were red and buckskin, one black dog. His case, the sire was black, and most of the dogs he threw were black, even though he had that red boy JOCKO in there, which is a lot of red and some brindle and stuff like that. So you really have to research it and find out before saying that can't happen. You know, that's the way I would look at it.
Yeah. Now it's been in my fucking studies that I've seen that black and tan is a dormant dominant trait, meaning it's not recessive. Like if you breed two red nosed dogs together, you'll never get a black nosed dog or a black dog because you putting two recessive genes together. But it's so dormant that it doesn't pop up that often. Unless you know you breed tight on those genetics and you try to tighten up on that. Now to answer the question, shit, I don't fucking know. Who's to say that fucking red boy pedigree is correct? And you know, we basing fucking yellow off, you know, he coming down from red boy. So shit, who fucking knows at this point, man? I seen people arguing that shit lately, trying to prove a point one way or other about a famous nail dog supposed to be off somebody else shit and yada 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 yada. Either way, who fucking knows, man? You know, that's just what they trying to get to the bottom of. Test the dog shit. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck if it's off that man yard or the next? If it's off the original man yard, why he ain't produced no more than hog before that? You know, if it's not, then fucking apologize to the man who bred hog shit, but don't fucking try to hide your little questions under the guise of a genetic fucking topic. Like we all know where the question is covered from. I don't fucking know, but who knows how Red Boy is bred? Who knows how any of these fucking dogs is bred, man? Motherfucking paper hanging, it ain't nothing new.
Very true. Very true.
Hell yeah, unless you getting it from motherfuckers who honest about what they bred and the people they got they stock from was the same way. There's always gonna be some shit in the game, you know. That's just the fucking nature of the beast that come with the territory.
Yeah, you made a good point because what matters is the traits and what you do with them and whether they're
exactly.
Because I guarantee you, if you got some pigtailed, flop-eared, fucking overbite, you know, fat, scrawny, ugly cowhawk sway back, if it's a bad motherfucker, you're gonna breed it. It don't matter what. It don't matter what it is.
That look like that.
Yeah, you know. So that should always be first and foremost, you know.
Hell yeah. Now, I will say I have seen like the pure yellow shit kind of throw like that smut color, you know, when you kind of inbreed brother to sister and you tighten it up like that, it'd give it that buckskin smut color, like that dirty buckskin.
Yeah.
So black and tan is possible because those are in the same genetic fucking neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as the motherfucker don't quit, who cares how it look? Shit.
When you get down to it, hell yeah, that's what matters. I mean, we all have our preferences. We all breed for traits. We're supposed to, anyways. But at the end of the day, a good dog is a good dog, and that's what makes the difference between, you know, game bred, American Pit Bull Terrier, whatever you want to call it, you know, and other breeds. Because, you know, at least in our time, we put, you know, performance and heart and, you know, competition and all that stuff foremost rather than, you know, what the pedigree was or how he looks and this and that. Like a lot of people don't like those short, squatty dogs, you know, and they have their reasons, which could be valid. But if it's a good one, you don't care, man. You can fix certain things when you make your breedings, but it's hard to find good dogs that can perform and then produce as well. So you kind of go with that first. You'll be all right, you know.
Exactly. Don't get caught up in the online madness of this dog off of that and all. It don't matter, especially if you don't got a dog off of neither dog. You literally have no dog in the fight. So fuck that shit, man.
Yeah.
The next question,
that's all they got to talk about, you know.
Exactly, it's somebody else shit, bro. Because they ain't got shit to talk about. But we'll get to the next one. Keep it rolling. Come from our the good brother Bob Otto, and he asked, "What was the panel's favorite part of conditioning, i.e., flirt pole, spring pole, weight pull, treadmill, shit. And we'll start with you, OG Box, with this one.
Well, mine's was the preparation of the keep, not so much the conditioning part per se, in terms of, mine was more or less like I've given some little secrets to what I would do in mines, and that was making sure that mines that night of the show, I did it throughout the show, which, like I said, right before I feed up whatever that time would be at the show time, that I put two in there and put muzzles or tape their mouths up and let them go for 10 minutes. Then let mines hit on the last joint, just so touch and break, and just assimilate the show, so that, of course, I wanted to make sure they was physically and mentally there, but I wanted to make sure that I actually practiced for the show. So if I was in there for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I done the same thing every day, from rest days to working days. But they knew they're gonna get weighed, washed, and put down, so that when the night came, it didn't matter. I used radios, turn the lights off, turn the lights on, anything to try to make them freak out, to make sure they was prepared. So that's my favorite part of the keep.
God damn, that was in depth right there. Shit. I hope y'all had y'all notebooks out and shit. That was some good game.
Yeah.
What about you, OG Mr. Garcia? What was your favorite part?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on something what Box said right now, because whether he might realize this, but that technique, what he's talking about, that comes from game file men, because that's what they do. The best I've seen and the best I read about and know, that's what they did, and it started maybe a week before. They get the birds down, they let them hit all up until the day before, and maybe if you're doing it at night, maybe even that morning, they would face the bird up, let them hit something, and stop it right away. And what it does, it keeps them focused, keeps them uh uh pointed, keeps them
Correct.
you know what I mean? It keeps them sharp. And
Very
it's just
interesting.
it's just a technique that they use, that and they still do it today. In Mexico they do the same thing. They'll let them hit, man, right? Even right before they go into the show, and I've seen people do this too.
True.
They'll face a dog up,
Right.
They'll be at a show and they'll have, hey, bring your dog out, and they'll let them die like that right before they go to the scales, man, just
Right.
to key them up. And the game foul dudes will do that, but they'll actually let them hit a bird. Just it may be a few seconds, let them pop like that, or just let them come together. They're naked heel, they don't have their knives on yet, and just
Right.
bam and hit them. And it's part of the peak. It helps them keep that peak, and keep them focused. As far as the keep goes, I like to get my dogs out in nature, and me and Bach share that, where I try to get them used to everything. Riding in a car, different atmosphere, noises, loud noises, kids screaming and hollering. Even when I was schooling them, and again, I'm speaking about the past, I would have my kids in there fucking with the dog, pulling on their ears when they're in hole, pulling on their ears, pushing them, stepping on them, pull their tail, because I wanted the dogs to be focused on what they were doing, and any outside interference they didn't give a shit about. So all that, what he calls prep, for me, I mean, it was standard with every one of my dogs, whether they made it or not. I would do that. But I like to get my dogs out, as far as conditioning, I like them out in nature. I like a natural work, they get fresh air, they focus on critters running around or birds flying around, and it's a good natural workout. And it's not steady like on a mill or even on a cat mill. The ground isn't even all the time. You're going up and down. You might be going through ravines, and you might be going over humps, through orchards, back and forth, up and down. And again, what that does, it makes the dog focus on what he's doing. He's got to be able to keep his feet under him while he's moving, whether he's walking or running. and he's got to pay attention because he's looking where he wants to go, but he can't be looking down at the ground trying to jump over stuff and not step on a rock or this and that. They inherently they'll learn to do that. You know, it's like peripheral vision almost. You know, and they'll go where they're going, and they'll keep their feet under them. And you may change up, quit, go left, right, you know, stop, go again, down a, you know, the ground is uneven, so they just go along with it. They learn to keep their feet in them, under them, when they're doing what they're doing. So that part, and then the end of the keep, you know, peeking them out, get them ready for that show, make sure they're ready to go, and focused and all that. So, you know, it's funny because a lot of things that Bach talks about, you know, we share a lot of those, even though we didn't share back then what
never
we
spoke
did.
about it.
Never spoke about it. But it's just, you know, it's kind of like common sense, or what are you trying to make this dog do? What are you trying to get out of him? What's the best I can do with him? And it just has a way of coming out on its own that way, you know. So that's about for me.
And just real quick on that, Rich. And the reason that it really prompted me to do it is because when you start going all around different cities, states, and you see, you might come to one show that's real professional acting, and the other one is like a goddamn savage town. And you know, your dogs, if they not used to certain, they can freak out. You got a good dog on lose because they haven't witnessed this type of spectacle. You know, on the outside stuff, right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that when I prep mine, I'm having buddies come over with the goddamn mask, all type of weird shit. I mean, flickering the flashlights in their face, beating it on the walls, just anything to make them not focus. And after they get used to that shit, I'm like, I don't care where I go. And I traveled everywhere. I never did one at home in my life. I traveled everywhere. And it didn't matter. They was prepared of what they gonna see that night. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? So that was really what made me prompt to do that.
That's again, we didn't talk about all this. That is exactly the reason I did it. Because I go to shows like Magnum, for instance. He was a one-time winner or two-time winner. These are experienced dogs. They've been in there before. It was a big show. There was a lot of people. The lights had gone out. You know, some dogs will freak over that. Well, when they cut Magnum loose, he turned around, you know, chainsaw head and faced up. And on the release, he turned around, put his paws on the wall like he was going to jump out. And Shorty ran over and grabbed him in the stifle and got him into the fight. Now, Magnum ended up winning, but if Shorty had been a hard biter, he had a free shot on that stifle. He could have opened them up. And these are experienced dogs that have been there, done that.
Right.
Some of them are winners. Some of them have been schooled out, all that stuff. But they ain't accustomed to adverse situations. They ain't accustomed. So I did it for the same reason you did, man. I didn't care what was happening. I don't care if somebody shot a cannon off, or they're playing loud Mexican music, or you got a bunch of people, 100, 200 people hooping and hollering and screaming and stomping their feet. It didn't matter to my dog. They were used to all that stuff, and traveling too, in a car, nothing. In fact, the first time I took my buddy, we went, they sent me this way and that way and go up and down. He goes, man, Richard, this is fucked up. You know, I said, it don't matter. My dog's used to it. By the time we got there, he goes, man, your dog's used to traveling, isn't he? I said, yeah. It don't give a shit. I could keep him in that crate for 8 hours. It don't matter. He's used to it.
Right.
So that's the intent of doing that, is have him prepared for anything that could happen. Don't matter what it is, you know. And
that's right.
Like I said, we shared a lot of the same stuff. That's just common sense stuff. And you see this as you're learning, and then you figure out, what the hell do I want to do? And then you go out and do it. But,
it's common sense to us, but a lot of people never thought about it.
It never comes in their head to do it. No, it never, you know.
Right.
They think they do their thing at home, they're gonna do it anywhere. Nah. Especially if they never outside their yard, that really freaks them out. They never seen nobody.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, most people just fucking want to raise a dog on the chain and then bring them in the house, school them out, and expect them to be a goddamn world beater. And then be sitting there with their dick in their hand when that shit freak out in front of everybody. It's not that he a bulldog or a weenie. You just didn't socialize the fucking animal.
That's right. Yeah. Some of them won't even start. They'll freak out, man. And just, you know, and these dogs are schooled out. and they just panic and they look around, they see the lights and the people hear all the noise, they won't even start. But yet at home, he showed everything. He, why the fuck would they be there, doing their dog if he hadn't shown at least that they thought he could win? But they get there, freak out, don't even start, man. And man, that to me, that's embarrassing. I wanted to avoid all that, and
but that comes in your schooling though. That's not so much to keep. That comes in your schooling, what you talking about, brother. Getting your dog, like I believe everybody should have puppies in their car going everywhere. Okay,
yeah, you gotta do that from when they're young. Exactly.
Yeah, take them all around. Even the ones that get sick, they'll get over it after a while.
Yeah,
you just got to keep them going, keep them going, keep them going, keep plenty of air coming through the, to them, and they'll make it out. And I'm gonna just say this too, while we're on it. A person thinks that they really, because they're at home, they had an advantage. Not the way I look at it, because my shit looks like they can't wait to come to somebody else's place, because that's all I ever do. I always rolled at the people. I never even rolled at home hardly. I rolled at somebody else's place, so they got so used to going somewhere that it didn't matter. You understand? So that's that. And the person be like, "Oh, well, you want to come over and roll? Of course, I want to come to your house and roll. You goddamn right. I want to come to your house and roll, because this is only get mine's confident of going anywhere, presenting his or her abilities, and then jump in the car and I feed they ass goddamn all type of watermelon, everything going home. It was like a treat to them. You know what I mean? So, but all of that's in the school, and not so much in for the keep, because we don't went too. But I'm just saying all that would be in their schooling.
Yeah, you do it from when they're young, and that process you're talking about. What happens, Bach, is the dog. They know why they're getting in the fucking car.
Soon as
know
they
what
get
they're going to go
correct.
do, and they looking forward to it, and they want to do their thing, and it just becomes normal to them, and that could help why they act better somewhere else than they do at home.
That's right.
That's like schooling in the box. Like my shit, I would school in the box so much. Whenever they would see a piece of plywood, they would turn on.
That's the truth. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. My dog would scream if there was no dog. They'd be looking for a dog. They get in there, start hollering, screaming,
biting the carpet, all that shit.
Yeah,
like what the fuck? What we in here for?
I could take them out of the box and walk all the way around the side of the house and cut them loose, and they'll run back to the box and jump in and look for shit.
You can walk your dog in the back of the woods. If they so used to going in the back of the woods, somebody's house, and that box is up, they screaming and they even see the box.
Yeah.
Just walking to the back. They like, I know it's back there.
My shit got so bad. Whenever they see it, I could just let them out the car there, run and go jump right in that motherfucker.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right in the middle of it, looking around like this my box, bitch.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Did 7-8 get the Smooth Monty super chat?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Or
yeah, salute to the homie Smooth Monty showing major love. That fucking half a hundo, the $50 holla. Appreciate you. He says, salute panel. Other than the bloodlines that you bred, what other bloodlines would you have used? We'll start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Well, early on, I had the Boils dog, and like I always say, they had the more heavier Bolio in them, which is why I liked them. I kind of got away when he started adding more of the Eli, because I had a bunch of Bully Son dogs, and they're rough, and I won with a couple of them, but people hate me for this, but a lot of them will pull up, depending. Can you fix that? Yeah. Do people fix it? Yeah. Are they game Eli dogs? Hell yeah. I know one guy, he was so hard on them, man, and they were inbred. Mr. Ledesma, them fucking Eli dogs was game, man. And I mean game as you want. But what happens is, because they're so impressive with their mouth and their strength and their intensity and all that, people have a tendency to keep them when they shouldn't, if they quit, because somewhere along the line, somebody got it in their head, and it's not all false, but they got it in their head that it don't matter if a dog quits or he's game, he could still produce. That's true, but your numbers are going to go down. You keep breeding curs, what do you think is going to happen? So other than that, yeah, I would, I'm kind of like like Bach, you know, if it got some Eli Carver, I'd like it. If I didn't have what I had, I probably would have went that way with it, you know, more on the Eli Carver dog because, you know, they had a good record. You know, Carver was the top breeder, and they probably would have been because these are the last ones he had along the Stompanato Arch Missy way, like a lot of guys did, like LG and Mike Thibodeau and Bud Petrie and you know, a lot of different guys, Ronnie Jackson, and you know, just that blood, you know, they're just tough and durable, got big ass teeth and good mouth and nice bone structure, you know, intense, you know. So I think it would have been, if I didn't have my Jeep Red Boy stuff, you know, I think it would have been along those lines of the Eli Carver kind of stuff, you know. It's in our time, it's one of the oldest crosses, if you want to call it that. Some people say it ain't a cross because they come from the same dog. That's true, but they have differences, you know, from a straight Carver dog and a straight Eli dog, you know. And maybe the commonalities in the background, and some of it is, you know, they bite hard, they go to the stifle, they're rough like that, you know, even though, you know, they're not related that way, except if you go back a ways. But I would go stick to that. They got good finish, you know, and that's kind of, I think, what I would have went with, you know. But I had Heinzel dogs, Bolio dogs. I really like the Bolio dogs too, the early ones, you know, back when Indian Sonny still had him, you know. They were Bolio, and then it became a Bolio Corvino cross, and then Bolio Corvino Eli, you know, Bull and Mary Jane, and what was his name? Rowdy. I think Rowdy was a 6-time winner. He lost one time. You know, those were durable. They kind of look similar to the Eli Carver dogs later on, you know, kind of on the thick side and rough like that, you know. And those were some good dogs. H&H Candles had them. Mexican Dan had them. Indian Sonny. You know, different people. But I like as far as the contrast in style, you know, I like the rough dogs, but the Bolio were more like a Muhammad Ali, you know, real stylish, fast. Just, they love to fight, man. That's the thing that impressed me. They love to get down and love doing what they're doing. You can see it when they're doing it.
Yeah, like a Bolio dog with an average mouth look like he biting like a shark. He fights so goddamn hard. You like, God damn, this motherfucker biting. Like, man, he got an average mouth.
Yeah, that's all.
Slinking it hard as fuck.
Yeah. And they're real, you know, they shake a lot and they move around a lot. They wrestle real good. It's just a good, you know, like if you're watching two guys go at it where there's a lot of action like that,
yeah,
you know, and they move around a lot. You know?
Like an old school Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
When he go to one of the schools and start whooping everybody ass.
Yeah. So it would have been along those lines, more the Eli Carver stuff or the Bolio, the early Boyle stuff. I really liked it, you know.
Hell yeah. Hey, before I answer, since everybody been, you know, saying I should do comedy and shit, I wrote my first joke. You know, first joke ever. Y'all want to hear it? It's funny as hell.
Yeah, we want to hear it.
All right, here we go. How do you pay a lesbian pimp?
Have no idea.
In stud fees.
It had to be dog related, man. It had to be.
Zinger. But
okay.
I can honestly say I tried pretty much all the bloodlines except the old family Reds, and that was only because I couldn't find nobody with the good shit to come up off of it. Like, when motherfuckers got the good old blood, they not coming up off of it. But, you know, everything else I tried, I was lucky enough to be able to be in a circle where it was all available for me to be able to play with and try. And even if I didn't flat out own the dog, I would do a dog for a person and get to know the dog and know the bloodline and all that shit. So yeah, that's the only dog I didn't get a chance to try was the old family Red, but I tried everything. I wasn't kennel blind. Like, if it worked, let's run it. Shit. What about you, OG Bach? Besides what you had, what other bloodlines would you have used?
I would have loved to ran more Don Mayfield stuff back then. shit, would have loved to have got some really, I mean, like a lot of the stuff dealing with the Henry part of it, even though it wasn't a whole bunch out, but I would have loved dealing with way more of the Don Mayfield blood. And the reason I didn't deal with it, because I hated seeing his papers with the sunshine and the niggers and the spooks and all that shit. I was like, fuck Don, fuck his dogs. But I really wish that I got the dogs and still would have been fuck Don if I felt like he was just racist or some shit. You know what I mean? But so, because he really had some damn good dogs. And the stuff that, him and Norman Kimmer fell out about, Norman claimed to have got rid of all the dogs that he got from Don. I don't know how true that was, but I do know Norman had some badass damn dogs from him back then, And I just wish that I had really, what's that good, Sophiakis or whatever the guys that had it back then, tight.
Sapphikis, yeah, Paul Sapphikis.
Yeah, hell yeah. He had it really nice, and then like some of the dogs that I saw, that shit was just hard, rough mother suckers, and I just didn't get it because I didn't want them a pig, really, but shit, I really kicked myself for not getting it when I could have got it. Yeah,
Mr. Gray used it. He liked it because of the the heavy DIBO influence. Spike,
right.
He was that kind of guy.
Right.
So he liked it, man. Other people didn't, but that's like anything. You got to get the good ones. It's what you do with them. You can't just keep them because how they're bred, and if they don't work out, get rid of them.
The cross. The cross I was going to want to use then was the alien bullshit cross with that.
Yeah. It's a classic cross, man. It's COLBY DIBO.
Right.
I mean COLBY Lightner with the alien stuff the DIBO with that,
with the nice cotton bullet part in there with really
all that. Yeah.
Because they were pretty.
That was some game stuff, man. Like that'll wake your blood up for real.
They were some game straight ahead bulldogs, and I just felt like it wasn't that they didn't have mouth themselves. They had okay mouth, but I felt crossing it with the stuff from Don would have put more mouth in it along with what they were able to do. I thought it created a nice blend,
Yeah, it would have. If you could find some, like you can still try that shit. Like, I've seen that shit. Like, take dog. The Heinzel shit I had, it was quitting no matter how it was bred or who it was off of, and off of accidental breeding of some of that shit. Whole litter full of bulldogs. I was like, God damn, I should have fucking took more of these motherfuckers when you was giving them away.
Yeah.
But I was so disappointed in the shit that I had got from the old man. I was like, oh, fuck it. I just take 1, 2 still shit. You give me that motherfucker was a bulldog. He had everything that each blood was lacking.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like anything else. When you have a family of dogs or a bloodline, you have a tendency to tighten up on that, and then when you cross it, then now you get your athletes. That's kind of the way the white blood was. Most of the best ones, they had crosses, whether it was Heinzel or Bolio or REDBOY. It's the cross, but that's that way with anything generally.
Yeah. Now I add for you REDBOY JOCKO guys and you yellow dudes, add a quarter of that shit to y'all stuff, and then thank me later. When you writing up the report for the whatever journal and shit. Right.
As far as physicality, I mean, they add a lot of that too. They got
they well built, big hard teeth, thick ass bones, like
just durable, man. You can cut the fuck out of them, and if you ain't on the side where that cut is, you can't even see it on their leg. It look like
can't tell because it's on the bleed. Like, God damn, this motherfucker is built to last for real.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Brother Ram. Did you mention Brother Big Dog Willie's
Oh yeah, I just about to get to that. I seen you asked if I could read. I just was on it. Yeah, salute to the homie Hit Dog Willie, because he be trolling us and shit. I call him Hit Dog because Hit Dogs holler, but that's the homie though. That's the fam bam. Better not nobody else get on his helmet. Hit Dog. But he say my mini pin, I guess his miniature pincher, is raising his pit. Is that a good idea? Well, it can be and it can't be. If the pit is a puppy and he cool with it and they ain't funking over no food or nothing so far, You know, that could be a good relationship because even though it's a pit bull and we like to, you know, put this shit in our head that these game bred dogs can't be around nothing, a lot of the times they could tolerate another dog and actually be better for it because they still are pack animals. No matter how many years we've been breeding them and all that shit, we haven't been breeding them longer than nature as far as that trait goes. It's just, I would keep an eye on it because if that motherfucker crank on and just stop liking shit, then, you know, you're gonna have to put them in separate cells. Somebody got to go with the PC.
Yeah.
What you got on that? Oh, I see. That's OG Boone came in. Oh, 7-8 back too bad.
Yeah, I'm back, bro.
All right, hell yeah.
Okay, everybody's back.
Start rapping and shit, playing my music and shit. You lucky.
Yeah, man, my bad, y'all. I had to.
No, you good. OG Boone. What you think about that?
Boone not in here, yo.
Oh, okay. What about you, Bach? What you got on that?
My thing is every pit is not the same. So you have some pits that are very intelligent and can identify a threat and not a threat. So you have some of the baddest pits ever was. They can walk right around in a damn dog park and don't bite none of them because none of them are threatening. Okay, and they can see a dog who they feel like a threat and they will want to go attack it. So I'm saying certain dogs that you see pit bulls with damn all type of dogs in the house, you be like, damn, he ain't killed that dog. They're like they best of buddies, but not all the pits are like that. You got some pits that can never be friends with another dog, or it just depends. Just like you said, you have to kind of watch it and see what their relationship is. Even try to like leave the room and peek in on them, you know. But yeah, I mean, I've had several dogs that get along great with dogs in the house, really, and want to protect it and kill for the damn dog. And then, like I said, I've had certain dogs that ain't gonna happen. They will eat that dog, you know. So just depends. Had to watch the demeanor of them as a puppy, especially. But I mean, if you get a grown dog, bring it to the house with another dog that's already there, shit. I mean, be very careful for that to happen because 9 out of 10, that's not gonna happen.
You know, they're gonna turn your living room into the box.
Right.
Your wife gonna be mad you knocked all over her whatnots and shit.
And blood everywhere and body parts and shit.
Hell yeah. Especially if it's a big dog against a little one.
Yeah.
What about you, OG Schoolboy? What you got on that?
Yeah, same thing. Some dogs can be, yeah, especially if you have, you know, a puppy and then an older dog or even a cat. I've seen them raised with cats, you know. Intense, crazy dog. But they were raised with this cat, you know. He was a inbred son of Jeep and Kate named Bucky. That cat was his mama, man. She could discipline him. She could do whatever she wanted with him. He'd just go along with it. But he was raised with her from a pup and he never had a problem, even as a grown dog. But with a lot of pups, they're okay when they're young and then they grow up and that instinct kicks in and then they're not okay. And like Bach just mentioned, how you got to peek in on them because they may behave when you're there. And then when you're gone, they play like fuck you, you know. They know, you know, they ain't dumb. But you know, Grand Champion, what was her name? Daisy May, you know, Boston Blackie, and then his champion Blackjack dog. They lived together. You know, he had to keep his eye on them. They would get rough. You know, he'd tell them to behave, and they would. But there's been, you know, that what's his name?
Grand Champion Virgil. He could walk the yard full of dogs.
Yeah,
as a grand champion and not hitting one of them, no matter how crazy they was. He fucking just walk around with Ken.
Long as they're not challenged, there's not a confrontation. Some of them are okay with it. Most of them, honestly, they ain't. You know.
Oh yeah, I say 99.9% of them ain't going for that bullshit.
Yeah, and a lot of times as dog gets older, you know, they'll mellow out and they're okay that way. You know, Big Red was like that. He was a nut. You know, he'd hit anything. But when he got older, he would tolerate it. It didn't matter to him, you know, because there, like I said, you know, if they bow up on him, he's gonna go. And some dogs are like that. Long as the dog's cool, and even some of them little shitty ass dogs, you know, they'll dominate a pit bull, you know, because again, the pup was raised with them, and they're just used to that dog get in their way. They'll yap at them and bite them and all kinds of stuff. The pit bull won't do nothing because they were raised with it, you know.
Yeah, take off running from that chihuahua.
Yeah, like that. It's
You'd
fucking
be like,
weird,
what the fuck? Don't set the box up.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, get in there, you
And
kill 3 of your favorites.
yeah, like that. Exactly.
In a row.
Yeah. So it's all a matter, you know, take each dog individually, like Box said, they all different, you know, and then just monitor them, see what's what. You know, if you want to have a dog like that as a pet inside, just get something that's like that he's not too crazy, and he'll tolerate if you got, you know, a cat or another dog in there, and just watch him. If he's good, you know, and if not, put that one outside, try another one, you know.
Yep.
Right.
Now I will say I had some Coca-Cola stuff that was kind of quirky. Like I could breed my bitch and she would be cool with her pups, no matter how long, you know, all the way up to adulthood and all that shit. But
yeah,
I had her mom too, so I would breed her mom, which would be her siblings, and she wouldn't give a fuck. Like, you know, puppy or whatever, she'd kill that shit.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, some dogs are just, you know, it's dealer's choice. You just gotta watch them.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Smooth Money back in the super chat.
Salute.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Salute to the homie, Smooth Monty. Appreciate you, the love, Smooth Monty. He says, in response to keeping a pit bull with other dog, rule number 1 is to know that you have a pit bull, and at any moment things can change and it goes real bad quick.
That's true. That's true.
Yep, that's true. That I think that's a good point, because a lot of people, you know, they read about pit bulls or they have a pit bull or this and that. They're not familiar with the nature of the dog, and that instinct for confrontation, for combat, and all that is in there, you know, and they'll get it twisted and think, you know, well, the dog's obedience trained, or he listens to me, I give him commands and he's okay, and this and that. And then they freak out when the dog turns around and then attacks their poochie, you know. That there's nothing really you can do about that, you know. That's the nature of the dog, you know. And don't get a false sense of security that your pup, even though he's cool when he's young, when he matures, that may change. And that's why you got to keep your eye on them. You got to watch their behavior. You got to get accustomed to the breed and the dog itself, and look at the signs and see, you know, what's in their mind, you know, what they're thinking, because it changes like that. The dog may be cool, and then it's just going to be a glance, and it's going to be a look, and the dog's going to hit. And if you see that enough, you're familiar with it, and you know, you can stop it before it happens. But people don't pay attention, and they ain't in tune with, you know, the dog's behavior or what he's thinking or how he feels, all that stuff, you know.
Another thing I could add on that as well. Now, a lot of male pit bulls won't hit female pit bulls. So they won't hit another female. But you have to know that. You have to be able to see it when they're young. But you'll have a female that can rag at that male and he'll just turn away like, I don't want to fight her, knowing that's a female.
Yeah.
So if you got a female, let's just say miniature pincher, and she got a male pit that sees her as a female, hell, 9 out of 10, he'll never tear her ass up. He'll always see her as a female, and I'm cool with her. She just talking shit. I ain't thinking about her. You know.
That's true. That's true.
So,
yeah, hell yeah. I've seen some of the baddest motherfucking killers turn from a bitch because they know it's their chance they could fuck. So they ain't trying to talk their way out of pussy.
Right.
Yeah. They'll even talk to them like, yeah. You know, they'll like, get the fuck away. You know, like leave me alone and shit. You know. And,
let me just put this in there real quick, if I could. I'm sorry. A guy, I let him use Rick Rude to breed. So he took the dog to his house and put the damn Rick. I didn't know he put the damn dog in the you know, like a chain link fence with the female. So he calls me and he's like, man, they talking about Rick Rude this, that. I mean, he's a bitch. I said, what the fuck you mean my dog a bitch? He said, man, he's let my female kick it. I said, man, let me come get my fucking dog. What you got him? What you mean she's fucking him up? He don't fight bitches. He don't even eat food while he's with a female in heat. He will lose weight. He don't want to eat no food. He don't want to do nothing but sit at the end of his fucking chain crying all night. So I go get Rick Rude. So he ends up having a dog that was a bad mother. He ended up making champion named Mike, but champion Mike, but he was 15 pounds heavier than Rick. So we have a roll, and I told him I'm gonna set his ass up. I said, when everybody get there, I want his ass, Mike's ass. So make sure nobody have one his weight, nobody has one. So it's like 4 rolls, and then it comes up. Hey, he's like, I said, he said, there ain't nobody got. I said, yeah, I got one for him. He said, man, who? I said, man, put Rick on him. He said, man, come on, man, fuck Rick, 15 pounds heavy, and he can't fuck with Mike. So I said, well, shit, man. I said, well, you ain't got nothing else here to do it. We might as well. And if you too much dog for Rick, I'll pick up. Make a long story short, Rick fucked him up where he wanted to blow that motherfucker's brains out after fucking 15 minutes of not getting a hold of Rick Rude. Rick Rude was throwing that bitch all around the drink like a dish rag. So I ended up getting him from him before he put the motherfucker down. And I ended up selling it to a guy for him. He ended up championing him out. But just to let you know, you cannot go by a female and a male, like I said, because a lot of males don't like. And so again, always check if it's gonna be another dog you use, and make sure that other dog is a female. A lot of times, not because, like I said, a lot of the male pits won't fuck them up. But I just had to put that out.
True. Good story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Salute to the brother Meredith Campbell in the super chat. Appreciate the love, Meredith.
Meredith.
It says, salute, brothers. Just paying my respects for the knowledge and great conversation y'all provide. Thanks, Meredith. I appreciate you.
Salute, Sam. Yeah,
Thank
you. Salute, Dr. Hood. I see you in there, man. Y'all go subscribe to Dr. Hood if y'all want to get some of that real life good man talk.
Yes, indeed.
He dropped his link in the chat. Yeah, he dropped his link in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I got to go check it out.
Yeah, I'll sub to him, be over there on Grown Man Time.
Yeah, what's up?
What is that? What is that, Ram?
Dr. Hood. Yeah, he just do a podcast just talking about, real life shit that motherfuckers need to hear. Get off that soy boy shit.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What question did you finish off on, Ram?
Oh, the fifth one, the last one was what's a good way to properly clean a new yard indoor property? That was the last and final question.
Okay, for viruses and parasites.
Yep. Wait a minute, hold on. We didn't go past the dime yet.
Did we?
Yeah. No,
I never heard the dime.
Yeah, I wanted to hear that. I don't know what dime is, so you guys can educate.
Yeah, I use it. So when y'all come up to it, I'll talk about it if nobody else knows.
Okay, we'll get to the dime.
In the panel's opinion, what's the best way to use dime? And that came from our good brother, Dirty Glove Kennels. He asked that question. We'll let you go. You take that over, OG Bach.
Well, just like the Clovite, I deal with a dime a lot. Now, normally they use it in like, and if a dog is sick, to bring them back because it adds calories.
What is it, Bach? Sorry.
It's like it's like a supplement that but it like builds calories. I mean, like add calories to your dog and puts weight on them, almost like a weight gainer. You know what I'm saying? But it's filled with a lot of little good stuff in there, and I use it for my females on puppies and with the pups, and it has they as fat as butterball, and so I use it for the females. The spray I use it on the puppies, and it has them nice and healthy. So I use the Clovite in that with them. But like I said, it adds weight on them, especially when you got a dog that's like down and you're trying to add weight to it. That dime is real good for that.
Yeah, I use the NutriCal for that. I don't know if you heard of that. NutriCal.
Yeah, NutriCal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if those two are the same. I doubt if they're the same thing in terms of what's in it. But I just know that dime is really good. Especially, I mean, even after I had to work the dog, I mean, I have them on a dime to bring their ass right back to the weight that I want them. Quick recovery of their weight. Like I said, it's really good. You can see it. The dogs feel good. They look good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna look it up.
Right.
Yeah, I use a product called Miracle Vet. I like it. It smells like some. When you open that shit up, it smells like some fucking beef stew or some shit. You know what I mean? But it got a lot of nutrients, electrolytes, vitamins and shit in there. And it got a lot of fish oil in there for fat and stuff. It's just pretty good. Um, Giovanni from Team Rocket in the super chat. Appreciate the love. He says LT Tray was out of hold, up in the out of hold, looking up in the air. Okay, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what LT Tray did, but I know what they say about him, but I haven't heard nothing negative about him. You guys know anything about that?
Shit, I heard he fucking pulled his motherfucking shoulder off.
Yeah.
I heard the motherfucker 1-8 against some damn good ones.
Yeah, that's what
I heard. It was 8 chances to make him quit, and then 8 chances worked.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't like when dogs do that, but Grand Champion Badger would do that because he was a barnstormer and he would run hot, then he'd sit there out of hole. And it gave me a false sense of security or hope when I lost to him because you think, oh man, he might take off. That motherfucker wasn't going nowhere, man.
Hell no, you're just taking deep breaths.
He was just resting, and maybe maybe a dog like that, you push him and maybe they will quit. Nobody ever could make him do that.
Yeah,
and he always scratched last, So it depends on the circumstance of this and that. It's not something I like because my dogs generally didn't do that,
Yeah,
But
I don't know if he did that.
I never liked it.
I don't know none of the blood, so I couldn't say if I seen any of his offspring do it or anything like that. Like,
yeah, me either.
That's not my cup of tea. Like, he's a good dog. I never liked how he was put together. Like, that's my pet peeve.
Well, the guy
in the
who put
dog.
them together, the guy I know who conditioned and stuff. I don't even know. I don't want to get him in. Anyway, let me just say this. The only thing I know is I heard he was a hell of a good dog and he produces good, but he was not a finisher. That's what I heard. Not a finishing dog.
Yep.
There's a lot of them like that, believe it or not, and we've spoke about that before. We love the finishing trait. We think it's important, this and that.
Right.
It doesn't mean a dog will quit if they don't have finish. Just like it don't mean a dog is game because they have finish. You could get both, What matters is at the end, if they scratch, because I seen dogs that they didn't have finish and you take them back to the corner, they keep scratching all fucking day long,
Yeah. So how did he win then? Was he brutal? What was his style? Like, I never even looked into the dog just because I didn't like how his pedigree looked.
Yeah.
How was he? Was he a beater, a eater with no finish? Like, because motherfucker beating 8, that's hard to do. Shit.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, most of the dogs ain't finishers. They win, but they don't mean they finisher. Finisher gonna go in the throat.
Yeah.
And put you to sleep. You're not gonna sit around that motherfucker keep fucking with legs and paws and fucking head and put the bitch to sleep. You got him down. You got him. He's ready to go to sleep. You ain't putting him to sleep. He's not a finisher. But it don't mean he ain't gonna win.
That's right. And it's even rare when they're a cannibal.
Correct.
Just, so there's different aspects to it. My thing is when I see it, then I judge it. Or when I saw it, then I could say.
My buddy wanted to breed to him. He won't breed to the dog. And again, it's nothing. This is not us sitting here talking negative about the dog. The dog's a hell of a fucking dog, one of the greatest ever. It's just that trait, like myself, which everybody knows, my number one shit is finish. My number one trait. So I wouldn't breed to him either because that's the trait I go for. You know what I'm saying? So that just would be my thing. But in terms of the dog's ability, mouth, wrestling ability, he seems to be game the whole 9. He just don't go for the finishing touches when he could easily have done it a long time ago. Yeah. That's the only thing I heard to knock on him, and that was from a person who knows him personally, deals with him personally, like that. Mm-hmm.
And again, not to knock him, and people could take a dog that don't have finish, and he has all these other good traits they like, including mouth and all this.
Correct.
And they'll breed them, right? I guarantee you, when you do that, that fucking piece of shit, no finish shit will come out first.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It just has the way those negative things just seem to come out first. That's why you try and eliminate them as much as possible. So I'm like you, and it's no knock on Tita. He's a great dog, like you said. It's just that's something that I didn't like. If they didn't have it, I wouldn't breed. And some of my dogs didn't have it, and I wouldn't breed them for that reason. So
I mean, and just to be honest, look how many joint you done seen back in the day. I'm gonna just say, take the whole fucking face off, muzzle going, dog, fucking going.
yep.
And that all that dog thought that dog would have quit by then, but that dog never turned, never quit. Well, guess what? That other dog who's not a finisher ends up losing. The motherfucker
Yep.
who ain't got no mouth can beat him and never even put and bite for shit on him because he ain't got no teeth or nothing in his mouth.
Yeah.
But
All
just because
because
he
he
kept
won't
coming
quit.
at him, he ended
Yep.
up quitting.
Yep.
And he's, you know what I mean? So I just shit. You can't, man. You ain't got a finisher. A lot of times, you ain't got shit.
Agreed.
Yes, indeed.
And you
Salute
don't gotta
Kamala.
have a lot of mouth to have finish either. A lot
You
of
don't
people
have to
get that
have no mouth. It ain't
confused.
about the mouth. I
No,
just
it
said
ain't.
the dog ain't got no mouth. I done seen. I done repped him. Dog ain't got no teeth. Dog done took the whole bottom jaw off, broke all of the fucking teeth out, tore the shit all the way up to the eyes. Ain't got nothing there. But that motherfucker keep coming, and the other one like, what else am I to do? Because he never fucking goes to the throat, never go under the armpit, never hit the fucking stomach, never hit no deadly spots. It just want to keep fighting in the fucking head and thinking, oh well. And then they be like, oh, what I do? And when they all that motherfucker got to keep doing is scratching into him, and can't bite him, ain't got no mouth. Gone. Mouth is gone. Can't present no problem to him. And that motherfucker will try to jump the box after a while where he can't do nothing else. They don't know nothing else to do. That's it.
Yep. Salute to the brother Kamal Oz in the super chat. Appreciate the love, man. He said 78. You going to cover Lawrence Okola? Yeah, I'm gonna check out what he said and I'll talk about it tomorrow, bro. Appreciate the support, man. What's up, my brother BFTB Boxing, Dead Game Boxing? Salute to everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all. All right. Now for the parasite question. What's a good way to properly clean a new yard for viruses and parasites? Brother Bach.
Well, most of the time, like I said, if it's a yard that I'm just going to, rather than a yard I'm already at, I really don't I don't really have too much to nothing after you build your yard up. So I mean, I normally just go in at the Joker, and if I ain't got no flea problems or nothing, like I said, if you're not looking to see where you're going for parvo, but I normally take some soap powder and I go all around where my dogs are, and I just take the water hose and get all of that. Then I do with bleach and all the shit like that. Then I end up putting my lime and my uh the sulfur. I put lime and sulfur around. And then, like I said, for parasites and things of that nature, like all my dogs, I put Kaleido Silver in their water for parasite. I have a thing that I use that kills the ultra rays that kill parasites and things in their water. I do that before I give them water. So if there's no parasites in their water ever, bacteria or parasites. So I use the Kaleido Silver, put in there, and it's good to keep the water fresh. Even if you want to clean it every day, it keeps that fresh, and it keeps a lot of kill all bacteria. I use that with my puppies as well. So that's pretty much, and of course the 7 dust and all that you just throw around the yard, and keep the cedar chips in your cages, just to keep the fleas and shit out like that. But that's pretty much what I use. Myself.
Yes, indeed. Welcome down, Ram. Big stepping, man. What's your take on it?
Well, if it's like a grassy yard, I usually would go and cut the grass down as low as possible first. Get all that shit cleaned up, and then I'll spray it down with some ammonia first, because that helps kill the fucking giardia. Bleach won't kill it. Bleach will kill coccidia, but not giardia. And you can't mix the two chemicals. So I would spray the yard down with ammonia in the morning, and it'd be so hot and dry out here that I could come back the next day and just put the fucking bleach on top of that to kill whatever else little parasitic viruses around. And like I say, out here we really don't got fleas and ticks and shit like that, because it's hard ass red dirt and it's fucking hot. So If I go to a motherfucking yard and I see his shit got fleas jumping off of him like Crenshaw on a Saturday night, I just leave like you dirty ass motherfucker. You ain't, get on your shit, homie. We out here in this dry ass desert. You shouldn't have no fucking topical parasites, bro. For real. Now, if you in the grass, yeah, you could get ticks, but again, that's the fucking peppermint oil and water or the lavender oil and water, or mix them both in water and spray them on your dog, spray them in the area. That's a good natural remedy to keep external parasites off your dog. And fucking keep the wormer and shit up. And like Bach said, keep their water fresh. That way won't no parasites and get in there, no birds or none of that old shit. And just, clean it. I do my shit twice a day. Once in the morning before I leave to go hit the gym. And once when I come home from work at night. Boom. Easy peasy. My kids, when they home, they fucking make sure they straight during the day. And that's it, bro. It's nothing hard or mythical you got to do. You don't even got to spend a lot of money. You just got to take care of your shit. And your shit will take care of you. You feel me? On Cetus.
Yes, indeed. Schoolboy, what's your take on clean yard?
Yeah, pretty much what they said. I'll add, I didn't allow birds to live in my trees either, because dogs will get coccidia from the shit, from the birds.
Right.
So any wildlife, snakes, any of that, squirrel, all that, no, they weren't around my dogs. And we had chickens, and they were kept far away from the dogs. I'll give an extreme case though. Let's say this happened to somebody. They bought some property, and it was either the person there either had cattle or you had horses on that property. So years and years of that buildup of waste from the animals, it stayed in the ground, and he didn't know it. He didn't realize it at the time, but it ended up making all his dogs sick. So he had to virtually remove all that fertilized ground and bring in new fresh dirt. That's an extreme case, but anybody who's, if you got where you clean, you buy some property and there's wildlife there, or you buy it from somebody who had livestock or something, you might have to go to that extreme to clean it up, because it'll make them sick. That's an extreme case. Don't happen too often. I've only heard it one time, but it did happen. And like I said, I just kept all the birds away. And birds will move on. You kill a few of them, or you take their nest down, and you do all this and that. Maybe you can't do that in today's world. This was back then, but that's what I did. People nowadays, if some kind of wildlife shows up, they relocate it and do all. I didn't do that. I just got rid of it. I don't want it around. I don't want it reproducing. I don't want it around my shit. That's just me. We did that when we cleared fields for crops, and I did that when I had my dog.
Yes, indeed. All right. That was a quick show, man. I apologize, y'all, but y'all been a little distracted, man. I got some bullshit going on over here. But Ram, why don't you go ahead and give us a disclaimer, man?
Hey, man, as always, none of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used towards any illegal activities. But if you are doing it and using it for that, keep the shit to yourself, man. Don't tell on yourself. Don't tell on nobody else. Tomorrow, Monday, man, it's a new week. Scratch hard than a motherfucker into that shit. And since abortions is illegal now, take my new advice to update it and pull the fuck out. Put that shit in reverse. Jack the rest out if you got to, for real. Better cut our escape route off. The abortion plug is no longer cracking. So, yeah. Other than that, man, y'all be great. It's always a pleasure chopping up with the OGs and my motherfucking brother 7-8.
Yes,
we the best.
Yes, sir, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Y'all, after this, y'all follow my shit, man. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 so I can start doing these live streams, fucking with y'all.
Yeah, go subscribe to Ram's
channel. Real. Yeah, I'll drop the link in the chat right quick.
Yeah, drop the link.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that, man. Get my daughter or my grandson.
All he got to do is get it off this link here.
We can send you a link. I'll send you a link, schoolboy.
All right. Send it to me. Yeah. Send it to mine too.
Okay. Does it have instructions how to connect it and all that?
It's gonna say subscribe. It's gonna be a subscribe button when you send you the link, and then it's gonna be in red letters. You just push that button, and your YouTube channel will automatically be subscribed to it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Good show, man. Make sure y'all go hit up Schoolboy. The link to that is in the description. Register your dogs. International Coalition Dog Registry. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.
Peace.